a white helmet, black jacket. Maybe I'm getting a ride on a police bike. No. As always, a flipping scoot. And in fact, an electric scoot. Now you may recall, last year I had a go on a Peugeot scooter. Do you remember? Well, you should have been watching. I also, since then, introduced to you an Attila, which is an Italian electric scooter. And now, here's another one to the many. This particular one is a swap, a Shangwei air preserver. And that is exactly what it does, because it's electric. It's powered by a massive 40-odd volt motor here at the back, making it go... No, it doesn't actually. It's like all electric scooters, it struggles to go up hills. It moves along the road quite happily at 30 mile an hour-ish, thereabouts, and allegedly this one will do as much as 50 mile an hour, although I believe that must be downhill with the wind behind you. Just like them all really, a little bit slow. And the other thing about them all as well, which I have noticed, is you can't hear them when you set off. When the engine's running, it isn't running. It's just electric, isn't it? Vroom, vroom, vroom. So for those of you who don't know an awful lot about these electric scooters, I'll tell you, it is as simple can be. First of all, of course, there's no calling at the local petrol station. There's no putting two-stroke oil in, because you lift up the seat and we remove a plug. You place the plug in the hole in the wall, missus, and then leave it overnight. When you get up in the morning, it is fully charged at a matter of only pence, and it takes you to work and back, or wherever you wish to go, probably even 30-odd miles. Ha! Marvellous, isn't it? Cheap, economical to run, and loads of fun. Now, on the cheap basis, the price. Well, the Attila and the Peugeot will cost you a little more than £2,000, but this is just 2,000 quid, which makes it damn cheap at the moment. Maybe there are more out there that could even beat that for price. But at the moment, this wins.
Was an electric scooter there. Yes, scooter, but electric. Now, perhaps you like the idea of being electric and being green and friendly and all that, but you don't like scooters. So what about a little fun machine like this? Look at this trendy little thing, even with a seat to sit your bum on while you're zipping along. It's a GoPed type thingy. It's called a glider, made by a company called Badsy, and this will cost you £700. Now, it's true to say you can buy a petrol GoPed for quite a bit less than £700, but that's petrol, isn't it? You've got to put petrol in it. It's dirty, messy, you might get your hands dirty, you've got to look after it. It could blow up and go wrong. This, dead simple, it's electric, so it's got a plug on it. Look at that 3-pin plug. Stick that in the mains, 4 to 6 hours charge, and that'll give you all the power you need to zip round a busy city centre all day long. Switch it on, twist away, and off we go. So, zipping round a busy city centre, well, a bit of a problem there really, you see, because there's a little bit of a grey area with the legalities of these things. In fact, I have actually asked a police sergeant here in Derbyshire this morning about these things, and to be perfectly honest, he wasn't sure about how they were classified because they're electric, and he didn't know whether he would book me or he wouldn't, and he didn't know what he could book me for. So all I would say is, if you're going to use one of these electric type GoPed things, you need to check with your local constabulary, local authority, whoever, and make sure you're not breaking any laws. But it is quite an important point. Perhaps I should show you how it all works, this under here. Whip the seat out here, and here we have a key, and there isn't really a great deal to see under here. That lifts up like that, and there we have 2 whacking big batteries and very little else. 2 big batteries, electric motor, And really that's it. It is very, very heavy, I have to say. So I wouldn't like to be throwing it in and out of a boot too often, because that's the great thing about these things, you see. It'll fold up. That will fold down, the handlebars there, take a bolt out the bottom of the steering column, and it'll fold up and go in your car boot. And when you arrive on the outskirts of town or at the office, out the boot, handlebars up, bolt in, stick the seat in, and providing you've had it on charge, as I say, for 4 to 6 hours, switch it on and away you go. The batteries will also power the lights, because it's got lights, this thing. It's very, very trendy. In fact, it's even got a dip beam and a main beam and a horn as well. Very nice. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yes, it's trendy and it's funky, but it's absolutely no use to me. Well, let me just point out a few of its uses. Perhaps you're lord of the manor, you're a millionaire, live on a big estate. You could use one of these for touring your gardens. It'd be very trendy. Maybe you have a boat. You could get one of these, fold it up, put it in the back of your boat, pull up at the dockside. You've got your own transport, haven't you? Camping holidays, one of these would easily go in a trailer. Loads and loads of uses. So maybe you're environmentally friendly and perhaps you own a big gas guzzler like this Cadillac DeVille here, and maybe you're fed up with paying astronomical fuel bills every week. Well, you can go green and go electric on a little go-ped like this. In fact, I reckon I could probably get 3 of these in the boot of this, 2 in the glove box, 1 behind the sun visor. There must be some more room as well.
Well, our electric story doesn't end there, because I'm on an electric push bike. The fastest grandad in the West. Tour de France, eat your heart out. Look at that, eh? I've done thousands of miles. Well, maybe thousands of yards, but I'm not in the least bit tired. And the reason for this is simply because I've got a bit of outside help in the form of an electric engine down here and a battery pack here, making life so much easier for such people as myself who get very tired very quickly. Now, this is from a company called GMB, who are in fact at Belgium, and they've been doing them for about 8 years now. And they've been selling them to the Japs, and they've bought hundreds of thousands, so much so for the last 8 years, every year they've sold 100,000 of them. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. But that's primarily aimed at the older folk, such as Paul, for example.
Yeah, very good. That almost funny that way. This is another one. This is called a Mango. I'm not sure about the name, but another electric assisted push bike from GMB, being brought into the UK now through Granby Motorcycles, actually. It's not really true to say it's an electric push bike. It's not. It's electric assisted. What happens is, very, very basically, as you push the pedals, this little contact gets made and the electric motor kicks in. Makes life very, very, very simple. It's actually got gears as well. 4 gears, 4 different gear ratios for the motor. But it does make life easier, especially going up hills, effortless. Especially for very old and very unfit people like Wayne.
Oh, leave it out. I feel a challenge coming on.
If you
referring
like.
to unfit.
If you like.
Let's... Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. Let's have it then.
Right. I hope your battery goes flat.
We've got you intrigued, haven't we, with these things? Fascinating. Well, I'm interested in them, I must admit, but what gets me is, as everything, when I get hold of something, they either run out of petrol or the battery goes flat, and that's what that bleeper's indicating. It's telling us that it needs some battery charging. It isn't a problem, because we remove the battery and we stick it on a battery charging device, specially designed for it. A few hours of battery charging, bung the battery back on, and that'll give you another perhaps 15, 20 miles to take you back home again. Easily sorted. This particular one is the very, very latest version, and it's the first ever to produce with an aluminium frame, making it a little lighter than the predecessors and very, very strong. But it also looks rather tasty. It's got some beautiful lines and some beautiful ideas, including this lock. This only locks the wheels. The latest addition to go with it is a cable, so you can fasten, by use of this cable, the bike to a lamppost for security reasons, and we have to be security conscious in this day and age. We also have to be legally conscious as well, because there are some legal boundaries due to the fact that it has indeed got an engine. I'll leave the legalities to Paul, who's obviously a little bit further behind because he's not as fit as I am.
No, not quite. No, my battery's really flat now. Yes, the legalities of these. Electric vehicles are always a bit of a grey area on the road. Nobody really seems to know the rules, but I can tell you for definite that you can ride one of these on the road at 14 years of age. Yes, a 14-year-old can ride one of these. You don't need a licence, you don't need insurance, you don't even have to wear a crash helmet, although we would always say wear some form of head protection. But it's quite trendy. You'd be quite the bee's knees turning up at school in one of these, wouldn't you? And then who knows, at 16 you've got the bug, you've got a little bit of power, you might want to go onto a scooter, and that's the idea with these things. It's a way of bringing young people into two-wheeled transport, shall we say, and eventually they finish up on motorcycles. Now the prices, well, this Mango, still can't get over that name, but this Mango will cost you £650. And if you want the one like Wayne's got, which is a little bit more trendy with the all aluminium frame there, the step scooter as it's called, that'll cost you £700. But if you are young and trendy and you don't like this, perhaps you think they're a bit old-fashioned, they're a bit granny looking, aren't they, with the carrier on the back and the basket on the front of that one. Well, they do a mountain bike style one, and that's got suspension like this one has as well, and it's very, very trendy and trick looking, and that'll cost you £750. So there you are, a whole family on a whole range of two-wheeled electric machines. The scooters, which you've probably all seen before, nothing new really in an electric scooter, although another make to consider. The GoPeds, you've probably seen the petrol GoPeds before, but here's an electric one now, very user-friendly, very, very green. But something you probably hadn't seen before, I certainly hadn't, are the electric push bikes.
And I think you can rest assured there'll be thousands of these on the roads in the future, in particular because at 14 you can use them. So don't forget, when you go down to that motorcycle superstore with mum and dad's having a look at a super bike to buy, at least you can have a look at one of these to buy and get this bunged on the finance as well, because at 14 you can use them on the road. I think that's marvellous. I think you'll probably find them situated neatly between the Hayabusa on the right and the ZX-R12 on the left, maybe.
Yeah.
Behind the R1.